Going to Bear Canyon Campground and hiking in about 4.5 miles or so. It's a beautiful day out here, warm enough to possibly jump in the river if we can find a good spot. This plant right here is poison oak. Its telltale pattern is that 3-leaf branching there. This plant can grow to match, I think, 5 different patterns or so. And it likes to imitate the foliage around it to hide from deer who like to eat it. If you get poison oak on your skin and you happen to be allergic, like a lot of the population, it's going to create a really, really irritating, hard to get rid of rash that spreads easily because it's super itchy. You can wash it off with some soap, but water will do if you have nothing else. Might be good to have what's called Technu, which will definitely get rid of poison oak. I noticed that in this particular spot we have a large number of acorn caps. You can actually make a little whistle out of it, which is pretty neat. You just want to take the acorn cap between your thumbs, sort of place it on your 2 forefingers like that. Put your thumbs like that. And you just kind of blow onto your knuckles and hope it works. We'll have to cut into the working part. You can't be mad about that. This here is my favorite plant in California, manzanita. I mean, look at this peeling red bud. Isn't that phenomenal? Get a sense of the texture on camera there, but it's really fantastic. And it's actually cool to the touch as well. One of its nicknames is the refrigerator plant because the xylem and the phloem on this plant are actually switched. What that means is that the water coming up from the roots, it's being sucked up from the soil, is actually coming along the outer part of the tree, of the plant. And it makes the plant cooler to the touch than it otherwise would be. This is the most precarious section of the trail. Everybody gets all hyped on Half Dome. Okay, Half Dome is amazing. But look, this incredibly massive rock face. It was right here, tucked into this little corner of the San Gabriel Mountains. Nobody climbs it, I don't think. I wonder if they could. There's some black sage here. Very fragrant. Oh my goodness. Wow. Sun-baked. Even more fragrant. Holy moly. That is the smell of Southern California, man. That's a cairn that I just made because I think a lot of people think that this is the trick. That's to discourage them from walking in the wrong direction by building a little barrier and something pointing the right way.
Pretty sure I went that way last time.
You sure did. Yeah. Beautiful lilies. What are you? What are you? Humboldt's lily. Pretty spectacular flower, honestly. Yeah, we're about a mile out now. Not very far from camp. It's currently 5:43. Sun sets around 8 o'clock still. So we got some time, but it's a really good idea to get to camp while it's still light out. You guys can't see that at all, but it's just like a arrow of blue, bright blue dragonfly. I love dragonflies. Almost perfectly constructed creatures that can fly in any direction, backwards, up, down, left, right, all around. They can turn in place. They can hover and turn in place. There's no other insect that can fly with that kind of dexterity. Do you ever wonder about why a certain animal or plant or whatever might be your favorite? Do you guys think it's like the animal that you most want to emulate in its qualities? That dexterity, the ability to turn on a dime and go a new entire direction all at once without taxing the system too much. And that kind of flexibility and dexterity of perspective I find extremely valuable. These are just on the cusp. Give them another week or so. Probably get a lot of the right conditions in just this spot. I'm definitely not gonna eat them. This lizard's wearing an acorn cap on its face. I've never seen anything like this in my life. How did that happen? Oh, you snaggled right out of that, didn't you? You pull. You pull. Oh, little buddy. Hey, stop that. Oh my gosh. You're so wriggly. Poor thing. Has an acorn stuck around its head. There you go, guy. Hope you're okay. Either way, we did what we could. Fun fact, this is mugwort, and when it's dry like this, you can strip the leaves and roll them up. You can make a tea out of this if you want. It's not going to taste that great and gives you really vivid dreams. So it's just inhaling it just a little bit. I am told that Native Americans in this area, most likely the Tongva or Keech, would stuff open wounds with them in the wilderness and just sort of stuff them in like that and then ignite them to cauterize the wound. I'm just gonna sniff that. There's California quail up there. I've never seen quail on this trail before. But you can see him, he's right on the log there. Did you see him cross the trail? Oh my goodness. Oh, when they fly, it's so loud and funny. They walk in these big groups. And they usually just like walk around like boop, 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 boop. I think we startled them a little bit. Well, looks like we made it. Well, looks like we got our pick of the bunch, actually. Perks of coming out on a weekday. Okay, so now we can take off our very heavy pack. Ooh. maybe scout the campground a little bit and see if we can't figure out which the best site is, because when you camp with us, we get the best site. The first thing you want to do, kind of set up your tent, pick out a good spot, make sure that's all set up so when it's dark and you want to go to bed, you don't have to do any work. So this is a tent that I bought my beautiful wife Hannah for an anniversary because I lost her favorite tent. Really fantastic backpacking tent by Big Agnes. They're kind of my favorite tent company. Nemo, North Face, all these MSR, all these companies make really good tents that I would recommend to anybody. But I really like this particular Big Agnes tent. This tent is really, really lightweight and has so much headroom. This is a footprint, and it's essentially just a very lightweight tarp that is the size and shape of the bottom of the tent. And these are great because they keep your tent from getting all shredded by the rocks and sand that you see on the ground here. So now we got our footprint down, we can start to lay out the tent. I think it's time to make a fire. The first thing you want to do is to create a little structure where you can catch a flame pretty easily. So there's good airflow. Now, I'm going to try to use some of these thinner sticks to make a bit of a nest kind of thing right in the middle. And it naturally creates some air and space between the wood while giving a protected area for the most tender tinder to burn. Crush it up. And I use a hemp wick here because I can get down deep into the fire in a way the lighter just cannot. It just builds on itself pretty easily. I'm gonna go the other way, cross-hatch kind of here with my extra sticks. And that, again, provides plenty of airflow, but not too much. And that's how you make a fire. Got some mac and cheese brewing here. Gonna mix in some salami, some tuna, and I totally forgot chopped broccoli florets. But usually I would advise on a backpacking trip that you bring some greens, even if they're dried greens. They'll just give you the right balance of fuel and nutrients that you need, you know? So we got a little backpacking stove down here, hooked up to our fuel source, and it's really simple. It's a little dial. I can turn up the heat or turn it down, which, you know, we don't need it to be too hot. And I don't want to burn the rubber sides of this collapsible pot here, which actually flattens down to about 1 inch thick and holds not only that, but these two mugs and these two bowls go inside of it as well, which I love as a piece of equipment, actually. And that's made by Cedar Summit, if you're wondering. You know, we have our bear canister here for storing the food that we're not eating at present. It's not like my favorite, but it does double as a stool. See you at mealtime.
Macaroni in a pot.
Got ourselves some dinner. It's been a pretty good day. I'm feeling great, sitting by the fire, refueling. Now, it is a simple meal, and it would be better with a little bit of vegetable. But, all things considered, I'm a pretty happy camper, as they say. Every time I do spend the night alone, I seem to grow closer with myself and just grow in general. And that feels like I'm building my power in a way. Not over others, but my power to live in the way that I would like and to react to life in the way that I would like to react. Builds my willpower, my self-awareness. And those are the two ingredients, I think, to living a more satisfying and fulfilling and pleasant life. But it's great to have a buddy. Tell you what, sharing things is one of the most beautiful things a human can do, is to share the things they love. And I love it out here. I love the forest and all its inhabitants. And I love just doing this kind of quote-unquote roughing it. It makes me feel more alive, more connected to the planet. It makes me feel less like a visitor, more like an inhabitant. Good morning. We are sipping some coffee and sitting on a log. We're just enjoying the sounds of the morning. Got ourselves a nutritious breakfast of instant unsweetened oatmeal and trail mix. Yeah, tents get dirty, but you want to try to store them with as little dirt as possible so they last longer. At the end of every stay at a campsite, the nice thing to do is to leave it better than you found it, and that means doing a trash sweep. You might think 1 or 2 pieces isn't going to hurt, but when it adds up and adds up over time, then it becomes hundreds of pieces. And those break down, microplastics eventually break down into tinier plastics that are now everywhere in all of our water and our bloodstreams, everything we eat. Plastic is in the most remote areas on the planet already. So we're just gonna do a little trash sweep here, tie the trash to the outside of the bag, and hopefully we'll pick up some trash on the trail too, little friendly citizen trail maintenance. I hope you'll join. I always feel very refreshed after a night out. I had a lot of energy this morning. It's already 9:23. The sun is getting high in the sky. Take two on this. I'd say that's a success. What do you think? Hopefully nobody tries to rescue us. Woo! This is the one. I put it in the water first, so maybe that's a helpful tip. Water acorn caps. It's nice to be out here in these mountains. Beauty everywhere. And although I was singing the praises of solitude last night, I think it's good that there are people out here. It means that there is an appreciation of the space from the human world, and if people appreciate or maybe even fall in love with a place, then they're more inclined, of course, to want to protect it. It doesn't move at the same speed as us. It can't express itself in our language. The forest, the more than human world, it needs advocates. As many advocates as it can gather. We are just as dependent upon it as anything. And I think that in a way it is dependent upon us, and we shouldn't shy away from that role. We should step into it with pride, with vigor, and with joy. At least that's what I think. Coming up in the swimming hole here, might take a dip. It's not worth coming out here unless you really dive in.